Oh, nice.
What's up, guys? This is Andrew Smersek with Combatter Training. I'm here today with Jay Addison of Prepared Citizens Training Group, and
What's up,
he's
guys?
going to talk about some of the stuff that he does out there in Alabama, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
And then also, he's been making some cool products as far as being able to mount a tourniquet on your rifle. One of my favorite part about it is it pisses off people on the internet. So I kind of want it on every rifle. Like I think Lewis and I were talking about just making a rifle that has every inch covered in tourniquets.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah, man, why don't you give everyone your background, where you're at, what kind of classes you do, and then we'll start talking gear.
So, I'm Jay Addison, Prepared Citizens. Um, yeah, I had a short time in the military. I was an Army infantryman. That was kind of my first exposure to this realm of modern firearms and medical, all that good stuff. And then just throughout time, my hobbies have been shooting and just learning more about the everything that goes on in it. And then I started going to tactical response, took fighting pistol and immediate action medical, got my NRA firearms certification, just kind of dabbing in everything, teaching people locally. And as far as right now, I'm working on getting a range, like somewhere that actually will belong to me, that I can dedicate training to, all that good stuff. But in the meantime, I do medical training at like local fire departments and stuff. I actually do it for free just to show people in the local area and get more people involved. It's kind of my big mission. And got a few online training things and more hands-on stuff coming up the pipe. So, and we sell
Right.
kits, all that good stuff. And YouTube, this is not a gun. This is a piece of a gun, but this is the prototype. This is the one you saw at SRF.
Yep.
And so something you can mount tourniquets on your
Yeah,
weapons.
bring that in real close for everyone to see. So, and it's only attaching to a CTR stock right now, right?
Yeah.
But then it's basically a real simple way to shock cord a tourniquet on there, which will be pretty fast to pull out. And
yeah, it depends on what kind of tourniquet you got. Obviously, it'll hold any tourniquet. These are extremely solid. These ain't on the website yet. These are still in the prototype stages, but because I want to make sure it's going to be a good product before I put it on the website. But here's what it looks like with soft T. And yeah, the idea came from, especially like home defense stuff. If, most of the time you wake up buck naked in the middle of the night with somebody kicking in your door, that way you got some medical on you. And from a, I guess, operator standpoint, just you really can't have too many tourniquets, in my opinion. If that's one thing I've learned throughout every dude I've taken training with. So, have you seen the new snake staff tourniquets?
I have.
Man, these are all.
You like it?
I like it.
It was kind of weird to me having the that clip there. Like one thing is that if the tourniquet for some reason needed another turn, I don't like having that clip in the way, right?
Yeah.
I like to secure mine by wrapping the tail back around the stick and then down through the plastic wings and then white time tab over that.
Got you.
But you've been liking it?
Yeah, so far I've really liked it. I've not been able to break it yet. And
Good.
Man, it's been pretty sweet. I love, as far as, we advocate for people carrying 1 or 2 tourniquets on them daily. And I mean, just having something, especially a windlass that we can't break, that's actually that in that compact of a package. I think that's really cool. I hope it maybe gets more people wanting to carry this stuff.
Yeah, that is the one thing that I do really like about it is there's a bunch of dudes who weren't carrying a tourniquet before that now carry one, and so I mean it's kind of like I carry a full size a recon in my ankle med kit.
Yeah.
Kind of like someone who wouldn't normally carry a gun because they're too big, but now they carry a little gun. It's like, okay, you're
Oh,
carrying a gun, I'm happy. Same thing with
right.
tourniquets. Like you're carrying one, okay, I'm happy. Uh, Now, what got you wanting to design the set mount and that? Like, was it like a thing that was just in your head, or was it kind of something um, that you knew needed to be made?
Man, it's a crazy journey on that one. Really, what really it's something I'd always kind of thought about since the military. Because in let's see, once we got to our unit, there was some SF dudes that were on the rifle range that were giving people like tips. They were on like a break from deployment, I guess, and they would just range dudes helping out. And really, really sharp shooters. Like awesome. I think one of them was actually a sniper. But anyway, they all had on their M4s, they had tourniquets rubber banded to the stock.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what started the idea. I remember asking them about that, and they were just like, "Dude, you can't have too many tourniquets." As like
Right.
you go to combat, you cannot have too many tourniquets. And I don't know, that kind of got my wheels turning. And then once I started going to tactical response, as you know, it's a big deal there too. So I guess it just, and then actually, this is the funny part. So all this is just ideas for a long time, right? For years,
Mm-hmm.
it's just ideas. I've not put anything into action, nothing into motion. And then actually, my wife and I were having a nap one day. This was a couple of years ago, probably. I guess God put it into a dream, and I am not joking. And dude, you can ask my wife. I just jumped up from this nap. I'm sitting up on the side of the bed, and she's like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I said, "I got to get a meal, and I got to start making these tourniquet mounts for rifles." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm serious. I'm serious. This was like put in, like I've never had I don't know. I guess God speak to me at that level or anything for that matter." And yeah, that's really how it started. It's kind of funny. So with that being said, it started the motion of all this.
Right on. Now, I remember, I think we were both at alumni weekend a couple years ago, but we didn't talk to each other. We didn't know each other at that point, but someone was like, "Yeah, he's got a thing that puts a tourniquet on the side of the gun," and everyone's like, "Why would?" But it might melt, and I'm like, I mean, like, yeah, but you can technically kind of melt anything,
Right.
like, like I'm like, if someone broke in and I shoot so much that I'm melting my tourniquet, um, I don't think melting my tourniquet's the biggest problem right now. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't want to say that as a cop out, but it's like it's kind of unrealistic to think that that's going to actually happen. But I know that's one of the first things a lot of people said. I think the only actual issue I've had with it was using it on a truck gun. If your vehicle is totally full of sticks and shit, from the range, like fairing strips. Because I had a time where I was driving home and they were like, my wife was like, "There's police helicopters," and Nick said he saw a dude walking around in her neighborhood, and I'm like, "I don't know, but I want my rifle in my hands." So I was trying to pull out from the backseat, but there was too much bullshit in the way, and it just made it like a little bit of a snag point. But
Yeah.
then we're like, if it was underneath the rail, like here's the front sight, here's the barrel. If it was here, I had it here, right? So if it was here, it wouldn't have mattered. Have you gotten slack from people online about that?
Oh man, it's been wild. It's definitely not for everyone. And and people can't seem to get that. But yeah, there's been a lot of people. Like one dude, this was hilarious. I was actually dying laughing when I read this one. He was like, what was it? Oh man, I wish I could remember exactly. But he was talking about, wow, why don't you go ahead and figure out how to put a fire starter on your rifle too, or something like that. I was like, well, if you angle it just right, fire does come out the end of it when you
Yeah,
shoot.
this
So
is true.
got to be a
Yeah.
fire starter. But yeah, there's been lots of silly things. And too, something talking about like the heat and all. I've not been able to melt anything yet with it, but a lot of people will like tape up part of their rails and shit to hold, buttons and stuff on their gun. And
Right.
you don't ever hear about that stuff melting. So I don't see I don't see how putting more material back there would do anything.
I just realized, Evan made me realize I still got the caption from yesterday on. I need to get better at that. It's my third live stream like this. So
I know, man, you're doing good on these.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm thinking this is a good direction to go. The truth is, my friends over on Bulletin, if you haven't listened to their podcast, check out really good stuff. But Mike Fiore and Max Lasagna, they have a pretty awesome podcast going on, and I was like, man, you guys should just interview like all these cool people we're doing. And then I just did it to help promote one of my friends that's coming down here, Zach with Definitive Training Solutions. And I was like, man, I should just do all these. And I was like, oh, I'm doing that thing I wanted them to do. And then tomorrow you guys can see me on them Bulletin doing this. So can you show off the set mount too? Do you have one handy?
I don't have one. Hey, I got some in the box here.
Now, it was funny because I also got shit for having that on my rifle. They were like, yeah, and take that tourniquet off your gun, you idiot. And I'm like, hey, dumb fuck. You think if you need your rifle, you might need a fucking tourniquet too? And it's just funny that this doesn't come to people's minds, So set mount right there, pretty sweet, simple, intuitive thing to install. It just has M block. What do you call them? The brackets on the back, the thing that it screws into.
Yeah, the little M lock nuts. And I mean, this thing's really versatile. You don't have to use it with tourniquets. That's one thing I've been stressing to people. I'm like, dude, you don't have to. I saw one dude. Shoot, I cannot think of his name. But anyway, he was doing like a patrolling video on his homestead or something. And he actually had rubber banded a little cleaning rod and stuff for his rifle onto his rail, just because he had like different stuff in the stock or whatever. But then if you clamp it down, you got some elastic here. You can put whatever. I've had some people put magazines, like a spare mag. It'll fit that. So I guess just use your imagination.
Yeah, so basically, guys, you can take that and run it through the molly on a pouch and then stick that on the side of the gun.
Yeah.
So, pretty handy little invention. Now, are there other things that you're wanting to start cutting out, milling for attachments to go on the side of a rifle?
At the moment, I'm just